Welcome to Fight IQ with Vaughn, where I break down and predict UFC fights using fight data, statistics, and AI. The win probability calculator takes all the fight data, weighs it, and spits out true win probabilities, letting us know who's got the edge and where to find the expected value. The expected value is a tool to compare the sportsbook's odds to the true odds determined by the win probability calculator. The expected value does not determine the outcome of a fight, it just determines what percentage the sportsbooks are under or overpricing a fighter. The AI fight simulators are virtual octagon, running 10,000 fight simulations based on real fight data such as strikes landed and absorbed, takedown defense and accuracy, cardio, age, layoff, finish rates, you name it, and gives us the winner, method of victory, and the reasoning for its pick. So starting off, we have UFC. Well, before we start, let's talk about UFC Baku. UFC Baku for me was an absolute disaster. My worst picks ever. And I know that I'm not alone. And I'm just so glad that we're back in the good old US of A, home of the brave, home of the free. Starting off for UFC 317 is a D1 wrestling phenom, Jacoby Smith versus UFC vet Nico Price. This fight was made official 16 days before fight night. This translates to a very short fight camp, no cardio training, and a brutal weight cut upcoming. Variables Smith will probably more likely be able to overcome due to his age and athleticism. Smith opened as the prohibitive favorite at minus 1,600 with an implied win probability of 94%. Smith is now, I've seen him at some sports books at minus 2,100. The win probability calculator has Smith as a massive favorite at minus 506 with a true implied win probability of 83.5%. The AI fight simulator picks Smith to win 70% of the time, 55% via KO, either round 1 or 2 due to Nico Price's poor durability. I feel Nico Price is just glad to get a paycheck at this point. You know, his record is just a sea of red with losses, and he has something like 20 kids that he has to support, and, you know, a $30,000 paycheck would go a long way for him. Meanwhile, Jacoby Smith is a true prospect with punishing power and DC caliber wrestling. He was a D1 wrestling phenom out of Oklahoma State, winning consecutive Big 12 titles at 174 pounds. The winner, Smith by TKO. It's just a matter of whether it's round 1 or 2. The expected value on Smith's money line at minus 1,600 is minus 10.6%, meaning he's overpriced. I'm passing betting on this fight because he is just too chalky. Next up, we have another short notice fight between Jonathan Diniz and Alvin Hines. Hines is making his UFC debut, and if you went just by reading stories or articles about him, you think, damn, this guy's pretty good. He's 2024 LFA Fighter of the Year nominee. Has 18.4 strikes landed per minute. He's undefeated. Then you watch film. This guy is absolutely horrible. He's got horrible striking, horrible takedown offense, horrible strike defense, horrible footwork. Diniz opened up as the favorite at minus 200 and is now sitting at minus 298 with an implied win probability of 75%. The win probability calculator has Diniz as the favorite at minus 154 with a true win probability of 61%. The AI fight simulator overwhelmingly picks Diniz to win 82% of the time, 68% via KO. This heavyweight division is just horrible right now and is in dire need of a colossal shakeup. It needs new blood. We just had Rizvan Kuniev fight last week, lost to Curtis Blades, and now he's ranked number 15 in the heavyweight division. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like Tom Aspinall is going to be able to run up and down this whole heavyweight division. But regardless, you know, this should be a relatively easy outing for Diniz, who was preparing for Justin Tafa. Hines will be coming off an extremely short notice fight with extremely short notice with no camp, no film study, no game plan. I just think the Union 49 member is going to get baptized into the UFC via KO. My winner is Diniz via TKO. Hines is a virtual punching bag. The expected value on Diniz money line at minus 298 is negative 13.9%, meaning he's extremely overpriced. At minus 298, Diniz is on the cusp of being chalky, but I would look for a KO prop. I think I saw one at minus 160, which could still be good value. Next up, we have Jackson McVey versus fellow debutant Chris Ewert. Cedricus Dumas pulled out last minute against his fight versus Jackson McVey because the judge wouldn't remove the ankle monitor. To me, I can't believe that he even booked a fight knowing that he was under house arrest, and I just feel like he wasted everybody's time. But regardless, Chris Ewert steps in, 5 days notice? Fun fact, when I went to research Chris Ewert on Google, it returned searches for Chris Ewert. So who's Chris Ewert? Ewert is a Chilean undefeated fighter fighting out of Fury FC. He's a kickboxer. He's got excellent kicks, good striking, good defense, good takedown defense. McVey himself, he's an LFA undefeated prospect who's also stepping up on short notice. To me, this fight is actually more entertaining than the Jackson McVey versus Cedricus Dumas fight would have been. Ewert, surprisingly, is opening up as a favorite at minus 130 with an implied win probability of 56.5%. The win probability calculator has McVey as the favorite at minus 135 with a true win probability of 57.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks McVey to win 52% of the time, 25% via KO. But Ewert has the greatest chance to finish the fight with 40% via KO. So ultimately, the AI picked Ewert to win this fight via KO. But to me, Ewert is basically one-dimensional. He doesn't really go for any takedowns, although he does have really good takedown defense. He's a pure kickboxer. He has powerful calf kicks. He has dynamite for fists, and he's physically strong. Watching film on McVey, he's long, and he's also got multiple tools. He's got various ways to be able to finish this fight. I am going to take McVey via decision. The expected money line expected value on McVey's money line at minus 135 is a positive 7.9%. So he is underpriced for this fight. Now, anyone betting on this fight, beware. Both of these fighters are debuting on short notice. So personally, I am staying away. Next up, finally, we get a serious matchup between Terrence McKinney and Vyacheslav Borshchev. I messed that one up like I always mess these names up. McKinney has recently broken out of his losing funk and is looking to make it 2 in a row, while Borshchev is trying to get on the winning side after dropping 2 of his last 3. McKinney opened up as a favorite at minus 185, but he's now sitting as a minus 166 favorite with an implied win probability of 62.4%. The win probability calculator has McKinney as the big favorite at minus 280 with a win probability of 73.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks McKinney to win 60% of the time, 35% via submission. McKinney is ride or die first round, kill or be killed. To McKinney's benefit, Borshchev is a slow starter, so it allows McKinney to have the advantage of shock and awe. McKinney has problems with strikers, Borshchev with grapplers. I expect McKinney to have no problem securing the clinch, getting a takedown, and a submission. For me, the winner is McKinney by submission, and I expect him to do it rather early. The expected value on McKinney's money line at minus 166 is a positive 11.3%, so he's extremely underpriced and a good value. I would feel confident putting money on McKinney money line and sprinkling some money on the McKinney submission. Next up, we have the only women's MMA fight on the card between Tracy Cortez and Vivian Araujo. Cortez is coming off a loss to Rose Namajunas, while Araujo is coming off an impressive win over Karina Silva. The homegirl Cortez is opening up as a favorite at minus 230, and she is now a slightly bigger favorite at minus 250 with an implied win probability of 71.4%. The win probability calculator has Araujo as the favorite at minus 137 with a true win probability of 57.8%. The AI Fight Simulator also picks Araujo to win 70% of the time, 35% via decision. Araujo is a BJJ black belt and a Luta Libre black belt. She can stand and bang, and she can choke you out. Cortez is basically a wrestler grappler. She's done well against other wrestlers. But Araujo, I think, has better stand-up than Cortez. When she's firing on all cylinders, I think Araujo's a force to be reckoned with. And Cortez's long breaks between fights is concerning to me. I am going with Araujo by decision. The expected value on Araujo's money line at plus 205 is a positive 25%. So she's extremely underpriced and a great value to throw money on. I am putting money on the Araujo money line. Next is the potential fight of the night between Haider Amil and Jose Miguel Delgado, both fighters sporting an impressive win streak. Amil is coming off a razor-thin split decision to remain undefeated against Gomes. Jose Delgado is making his second UFC appearance. Amil opened up as the favorite at minus 131, but Delgado has overtaken that spot and is now the favorite at minus 180 with an implied win probability of 64.3%. The win probability calculator has Delgado as the favorite at minus 181 with a true win probability of 64.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Delgado to win 55% of the time, 25% by submission. Delgado, he's a BJJ purple belt, so is Amil. This was a tough fight for me to handicap. There was a lot of expectation surrounding this fight that it would produce fireworks. Words like explosive and mayhem were slung around the Twitter world. Statistically, Amil should land more punches and absorb less strikes. And the fact that they're both BJJ purple belts would make one think that the BJJ skill would cancel each other out, and this would just become some sort of barn burner. And if that's the case, I think Amil has the advantage. But to me, there is one distinction, and it's that Amil has faced stiffer competition than Delgado, and that would edge the decision making for me. I'm going to pick Amil to win by split decision. The sim has Delgado winning. The AI Fight Simulator has Delgado. The win probability calculator has Delgado. So I'm really going against all my programming here, but my gut is telling me Amil, the expected value on Amil's money line at plus 150 is minus 4.4. So he's still overpriced as a dog. Betting wise, this fight is way too close to call. I'm going to stay away from it, and I'm just going to enjoy the violence. Next up, we have RoboCop Gregory Rodrigues versus the Joker, Jack Hermansson. While Rodrigues is coming off a loss to Cannonier, Hermansson was fraud checking Joe Pyfer. Rodrigues opened up the week as the favorite at minus 192, and those odds have swollen to a minus 205 with an implied win probability of 64.3%. The win probability calculator has Rodrigues as the favorite at minus 170 with a true implied win probability of 63%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Rodrigues to win 80% of the time, 55% via KO. It should be a simple pick, but for some reason I keep getting pulled to Hermansson. You know, he's got impressive wins over champ caliber fighters. He's got some losses to champ caliber fighters. But overall, Jack Hermansson has fought better competition than Gregory Rodrigues. The most elite competition that Rodrigues has faced is Cannonier, and Rodrigues folded. I think that if Rodrigues can't get rid of Hermansson in round one, he's going to start to fade. His cardio is going to start to fade, and his striking is going to be less effective. But I am more concerned about Hermansson's age and his long layoffs. There are rumors that the long layoff was due to back injuries and recovering from those back injuries. So that variable to me is too big of an unknown to bet for him. So I am going to go with what I think I know, which is Rodrigues by KO. Rodrigues has decent takedown defense. Hermansson's not the striker that Cannonier is. Had this fight occurred a few years ago, I think I definitely would have picked Hermansson to win by decision. But the pick is Rodrigues by KO. The expected value on Rodrigues' money line at minus 205 is negative 5.4%, meaning that he is overpriced. And betting Rodrigues to me is a trap. He's expected to win, but he's got crap cardio, and this could be a repeat of the last fight. So be cautious. Now, kicking off the main card, we have Peyton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. Talbott is coming off his first loss to the UFC journeyman Raoni Barcelos, and he's looking to right his ship with a win over Lima. Lima opened up the week as a favorite at minus 175, and those odds have increased to minus 192 with an implied win probability of 65.8%. The win probability calculator has Lima as a slight favorite at minus 151 with a true win probability of 56.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Talbott to win 53% of the time, 33% via KO. This is another tough fight on the books. Talbott is going to rely on his 75% takedown defense and Lima's average takedown offense to keep the fight standing. He does have impressive wins, but he also has some losses that are questionable. The Raoni Barcelos one, I fully expected him. Well, I shouldn't say some losses. He has a loss that is questionable. The only variable giving Talbott a slight edge is his UFC experience, which is 4 fights compared to Lima's 2-fight UFC experience. Lima, to me, can strike and grapple, and he's very strong for his division. I'm going to pick Lima by decision. To me, he reminds me of Cameron Simon, only stronger, faster, and with a more lethal takedown game. The height and reach is concerning, but Talbott only has a 44% strike defense. The expected value on Talbott's money line is negative 9%, so he's overpriced for this 50-50 fight. I'd stay away because this could go either way. Next up, we have a fun fight between Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. Brandon Royval actually opened up as the underdog in this fight as plus 100, with Van opening up at minus 120. Then the odds flip-flop with Royval as the minus 120 favorite and Van the plus 100 dog. And then last night, the odds flipped again to Royval being the plus 100 dog and Joshua Van the minus 120 favorite. The win probability calculator has Van winning this as the favorite at minus 153 with a 60.5% implied win probability. The AI Fight Simulator picks Brandon Royval to win 80% of the time, 25% either by KO or 35% via submission. Round 2. I just think this is too quick of a turnaround for Joshua Van to find success. Had he waited a few weeks and allowed himself to recover and not go through another weight cut and to have a proper fight camp to someone like Brandon Royval, then he might have been able to find success. But Brandon Royval has only lost to champs so far in the last few years, Brendan Moreno, Pantoja. So the dude's a killer. I expect him to get the job done. I bet the shit out of Brandon Royval last night, his money line at plus 100. It was just way too good to pass up. The pick, the winner, is Brandon Royval. I think he's going to win by decision. Joshua Van is pretty durable, but I'm taking Brandon Royval by decision. Next up, we finally have the money fight. Renato Money Moicano faces off against Beneil Dariush. This fight was supposed to happen at UFC 311, but Moicano stepped in Saryukian's place after Arman injured his back trying to impress Nina Drama. Moicano opened up the week as a favorite at minus 155, but those odds have slipped to minus 122 with an implied win probability of 55%. The win probability calculator has Moicano as a slight favorite at minus 140 with a true win probability of 58.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Moicano to win 58% of the time, 25% via submission. This is another close fight. Beneil is 36 going on 50 and Moicano is 36 going on 49. Moicano has taken care of business inside the octagon, disposing of Benoit St. Denis, Jalen Turner, Drew Dober, Brad Riddell, Chase Hooper. Dariush's biggest name, Mateusz Gamrot. To me, I'm taking Moicano by decision. The expected value on Moicano's money line at minus 122 is plus 3.4%, meaning he's underpriced, so bet that Moicano money line. Next up is the co-main event for the flyweight belt between Alejandro Pantoja and Kai Kara-France. These two fought at the Ultimate Fighter Season 24 Tournament of Champions, with Pantoja winning by decision. Pantoja opened up as a favorite at minus 278, but is now a minus 245 favorite with an implied win probability of 73.5%. The win probability calculator has Pantoja as the big favorite at minus 438 with a true implied win probability of 81.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Pantoja to win 78% of the time, 33% via submission. A rematch between a dominant champ and a fighter on a one-fight win streak. Come on, people. Let's look at this body of work. Pantoja murked Kai Atsakura, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno twice, Manel Kate. Kai Kara France lost to Pantoja, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno twice. I expect complete domination by Pantoja in this fight and will probably get the finish on a susceptible Kai Kara France. I'm taking Pantoja by submission. The expected value on Pantoja's money line at minus 245 yields a positive 10.4% expected value. So he is extremely underpriced. The Pantoja money line is live and a good value. Last but not least, we have the main event between Ilia Topuria and Charles Dobronx Oliveira. Topuria opened up the week as a huge favorite at minus 410, which has now risen to a minus 470 with an implied win probability of 82.5%. The win probability calculator has Topuria as the favorite at minus 337 with a true win probability of 77%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Topuria to win 55% of the time, 40% via KO. Topuria relinquished his featherweight belt to venture on his journey to become double champ. Oliveira, he's getting his second crack at UFC Gold. Topuria, he's chasing legacy while Oliveira is chasing a belt. Both possess extremely high fight IQ and extremely high self-confidence, which you need to become a champ in this division and in this promotion. But Topuria's stand-up is elite, better than Oliveira's, exemplified by his fight metrics. Topuria is also a BJJ black belt and a Greco-Roman wrestler, so he can neutralize Oliveira's threats enough to land devastating punches. In fact, Topuria is the first Georgian to receive a BJJ black belt. So I can see why the UFC made this the main event over the Pantoja versus Kai Kara France fight. But Oliveira, he's 35 now in that chin. Ay bendito. I'm taking Topuria by KO. The expected value on Topuria's money line at minus 470 is minus 5.3%, meaning that he's slightly overpriced. But the Topuria KO is sitting at minus 160. So I'm going to put a dabble on that. And also, food for thought, the Oliveira submission line was at plus 700. So that's always a possibility in this high-level fight. I wish you all the best of luck. Bet responsibly and enjoy UFC 317.